See, Patrick just sort of went off on you a little bit, so I think we should let you return fire if you want. He said that you should not have commented the way you did during the week about the referees, and that they were impacted greatly by your comments, and that it wasn't fair, and that he told you so at one point. Is there any?
I mean, he never said anything to me. That's all I can say. He didn't want to shake my hand in the hallway. But I've seen this from him after the game before, so it's not a problem. I'm going to focus on us, which I think that the game was decided by players, and I think that in every way our players put a big imprint on the game, and I thought that from the first minute that they were, even on a hot day, very alert, very tuned in, stuck to our game plan, and deservedly got the result.
We'll go far left to Christian.
How were you able to adjust the high press coming from the July 3rd match where they seemed to handle it pretty well? It seemed like they really had a lot of difficulty this time around with their build-up play out of the back, and that impacted a couple performances.
Yeah, I think the weather had something to do with that. It was hot, and so, they weren't able to really get a rhythm. But our pressure was very organized. We knew it had to be. We worked on it extensively this week and talked about it. And I thought that the players executed, again, the game plan according to the pressure, according to the ball movement, according to the tactics with the ball. So, again, I think that it was a well executed game for 90 minutes, which, we've still... at home we've been able to do that a lot better than on the road, and now can we take this kind of mentality and approach and make sure that on the road we can manage it the same way?
Jesse will go far right to Eric.
Jesse, another 2 goals for Brad in this one. It seems like every time he plays against NYCFC, he has some kind of impact. What do you think it is about him that allows him to rise to the occasion in these big derby matches?
Well, I think more than anything, it's when Brad has had rest, right? When Sasha has had rest and they've been able to recover, that they've been able to produce quality in big moments. So, first full week of training that we've had in a while where we can actually rest a little bit, work on some things, get sharp in training, design a game plan, execute it, and then, allow our players to play the game. So I think more than anything, okay, Brad's a big game player. Sasha's a big game player. There's no question about that. But the more that we can, I think, control how many minutes they're putting in and what their workloads are, I think the better that they'll be. Now that requires partly that the guys who are behind them to be able to step up when necessary. So it's both sides. We need to continue to call on the depth of our team, and then we need Brad and Sasha to keep themselves sharp and going.
We'll go first to Ivis and then Joe.
Along those lines, Bradley and Sasha, you could tell they were on, like they were in. Did you coming into the week? Did you have a sense that this was coming from those two guys, and specifically NYC? It seems like Bradley just gets up for them even more than other opponents.
He does. See that? Yeah, he does. There's no doubt. Even when I took him off, he didn't want to come off. Right? He wanted to get the third. Well, with the way that they pressure, we felt like we could do certain things to gain advantages in certain parts of the field, which would then lead Sasha to find gaps in their team. And then, whenever Sasha's catching balls in important spots, he knows that his first option is Brad. And so his ability to sort of move and see things and then slip a ball to Brad in the right way, that sets him up to execute around the goal. That's what makes their relationship special, and that's what makes each one of them good. I think they really work off of each other to make each other better.
We'll go to the left first to Dave.
Coach, one of your defining attributes since you've taken over has been one is a master of motivation, mental games, things of that nature. This week, you weren't prompted to talk about the referees. You said what you felt about the referees. Was that mind games? Did you really feel that at the time?
I would say that I've tried to always be respectful. Okay, and I've tried to communicate with the league and with the officials in a respectful way. I guess they interpreted this latest opinion that I had, or way of voicing my opinion, as disrespectful. So then I according to league policy, I get fined. But I look at it as I ask my players to fight for every inch every inch, every day on the field. I ask them to do everything they can to gain advantages and to win battles. And so for me, I felt that my job on this week was to voice certain things, and I felt that it was important with where we were in the season and where we were in the schedule and everything else to make sure that I was standing up for our guys and our club.
We'll go.
I thought Geiger was fantastic. All right, and this is not just because we won, and it's not just because I said something in the press. I think he had a very good, clean game where there really weren't many mystery calls or doubts or where things were going. There was one that maybe deflected out for a corner and maybe a foul, little ticky-tack foul here or there, but it's hard to argue with that performance. I think it's maybe the best that we've seen of the year. So, and I know Mark's taken a lot of heat. And for him, and I think in a big game and one that he knew there were a lot of eyes on, to be, I think, very poised and called the game the way he did, I think he did a very good job.
We'll go far left to Dan.
You and your team this week said that you took issue with the way that NYCFC celebrated after the last game in the Instagram post. So today, how did it feel to put 4 up on NYCFC and get the victory in front of Red Bull fans?
Listen, we are focused on us, and we are focused on our season, and we've had a lot of big challenges this year. We dug a huge hole for ourselves, all right? The last 15 games, we're 8-3-4, all right? It's not the best record in the league in that stretch, but it's a very, very good record. And so I think for us, we feel like we've dug ourselves out. And it's not been easy, man. We've had our backs against the wall in a lot of different weeks. We've let games slip. We haven't been as good as we'd like to be on the road. But I feel like now we're starting to really show that not that we're turning the corner, but that we've turned the corner. And the key for us now is to keep our foot on the gas and to keep going after games, to stay concentrated and focused on what it's going to take night in and night out, and to now make sure that we're getting good performances from as many players as we possibly can.